Man, pour one out for the 2025 Rutgers football season as it ends tonight with a devastating loss to the Penn State Nittany Lions, 40-36, in a game that both of us predicted we would lose. But at the same time, I think by middle of the fourth quarter, 90% of this fan base thought, oh shit, we're going to win this game. When we're driving with 7 minutes left, up by 3 in Penn State territory, I think we all allowed ourselves to think what the celebration would be like when we finally beat this fucking Penn State team and then fumble 6. There has been an increasingly creatively cruel way Rutgers has found to lose a game as a fan base progressively through my time of being a fan. Whether it be that snap between the legs earlier this year, whether it be the interception for Ethan's first interception versus Iowa, there's just so many instances where it feels like only Rutgers could lose in a way that they do. And tonight, it certainly felt that way. I am just so beaten down, so tired of the way we find a way to just take defeat from the jaws of victory. We played a good game. I want to give the team credit. They played well enough for the most part to win, but they just made too many mistakes when they couldn't make those mistakes, and it turned out it bit them in the ass. Rich, give us your high-level thoughts on how this game went.
I will, but before that, I guess we'll do the honors here. This podcast is sponsored by FanDuel. If you bet money on the Rutgers spread, if you bet money on the Rutgers over, you hit both of those at least. So hopefully some people walked away with some money today. Yeah, I don't even know where to start. The run defense continues to suck. It's just a bad play in the end for Ethan Kaliakmanis, and I actually feel for I think I shouldn't say actually. I think most people should feel for the kid, especially if you're a Rutgers fan, because he is the best quarterback that they've had. I'm going to date it back to Mike Teal at this point. I think he's better than Gary Nova. He's more consistent than Gary Nova. Gary Nova had better tools. I think Gary Nova had a higher ceiling. He just never got to that ceiling. But
Gary
Ethan
Nova also had epic meltdowns that he had.
Yeah.
How many times did he throw 4+ interceptions in a game? I can think of the Penn State
Kent
game.
State,
I can think of Kent State. I can think Virginia Tech. He single-handedly lost us a lot of games, whereas Ethan has made a couple mistakes per game, but he hasn't single-handedly lost us games like Gary did.
No, and you give Ethan Gary's tools, and it's like, holy shit. But anyway, yeah, you got to give Ethan credit. He is one of the best quarterbacks. He's probably, I shouldn't say probably, he is the best transfer of all time, in my opinion. I
Rutgers,
think back, at Rutgers specifically, I should say. Antoine Raymond, man, that kid's vision is absolutely phenomenal. That kid is in the NFL next year. I don't think he stays. Oh, well, 2 years. He's not going to stay for his senior year at this rate. He's too talented. KJ Duff, full-blown stud, absolutely insane catch. One of the best I've ever seen live in person.
That's the best Rutgers catch a Rutgers player's ever made, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's got to be, right? Absolutely insane. If you haven't seen it, it's on our Twitter. We have the photo too. It is just like, it is mind-boggling. And I get it. They have gloves and shit, but this is just like, it was a mind-boggling catch. Offense did their thing. There were some mishaps. Don't get me wrong. Taj White had committed it was technically 2 penalties in a row. And I was joking with Alec about it because it technically should have been 3 penalties in a row because he jumped off sides twice. And it's just the offensive line needs some work next year. I don't think you got to fix that a little bit, especially at the bookend tackles. Defense, man, they had moments. They had moments where they held in that field goal in the second half, and I was quietly like, "Oh shit, maybe they have a shot here." And they blew this game. I shouldn't say defense specifically blew this game, but they could not stop the run for the life of them. And we kind of said that going into this one.
The run defense blew this game. 9.1 yards per carry on 33 rushing attempts today. 300 rushing yards.
Yeah.
Jordan, thank you very much for the donation. He says, Richie, please tell us KJ isn't going anywhere. I beg you. Well, are we good there?
I'm going to say it's probably a 50-50 shot. So here's the deal.
Changed in the last few weeks.
Here's the deal. KJ Duff is going to get significant offers. People are going to tamper with him probably tomorrow.
If not already.
Yeah, if they already haven't done it, which I'm sure teams have done it. Rutgers is going to put together a good package, I was told. Solid package. I don't know if they'll be able to reach the numbers that people are going to put out there. It's so
There's
tough.
not many true sophomores who have over 1,000 yards receiving in a Power 4, not only a Power 4, Power 2 conference offense. So
he is a 7-figure player easily, without a doubt, especially with the rev sharing, especially with everything else. I was hearing numbers that he was probably going to get in the 1.5 range, and this was a month ago. I think he's going to get in like closer to the 2 range. Like he's going to have a fuck ton of money on the table for him. The only thing playing in Rutgers' favor is obviously number one, Rutgers' offense is fun for a change. They're not pass heavy; they're still run heavy technically, but it's equaled out quite a bit. On top of that, his mother loves Rutgers. She loves the coaching staff. She loves the location. Now, here's the other issue. Out of high school, I don't know if you remember this. Do you remember who his number 2 was before he went to Rutgers, and they pushed for him all the way up until signing day? He played for their 7-on-7 team in the region.
Oh, Miami.
Yes, yeah. That is one of the top highest paying or highest payrolls in college football. Would Mario Cristobal do that? I don't know. Maybe he did it with Mohamed Toure.
Yeah, exactly.
It's so yeah. I think I have a hard time seeing it. He also played for Miami Raw 7-on-7 at the overtime elite league or whatever the hell it was. Hell, he took pictures on the sideline after the Rutgers Ohio State game with his quarterback, who was the Miami Raw quarterback in Julian Sayin. So I think you have to watch out for them too. Obviously, the wide receiver I think Rutgers is going to have to put together a package somehow. I don't know how they're going to do it, but we'll just wait and see. It's going to be interesting to see how that one plays out more than anything. But there's also a pretty good offer on the table for Ian Strong, and I'm curious to see if he ends up coming back.
FBI Inspector, thank you very much for the donation. He said, just brutal. Yeah, man. I mean, I'm so downtrodden with how this game played out because I was fine. Like, I projected them to lose. Richie projected them to lose. For the most of the game, I was just kind of, oh yeah, we're keeping it close. You know, we're hanging in there, but there's not like a moment that we kind of took the reins until middle of the fourth quarter. And then we gave it as quickly as we got the reins, we just gave it right back to them. Yep. And you need to learn as a program how to win. And right now we are not a program that knows how to win, is comfortable in that situation, because just go to OddsShark, the betting database, and just like look at our results as an underdog under Schiano 2.0. The last few years, you know, we had a nice upset against Notre Dame. Jesus Christ. We had a nice upset against Boston College a few years ago. We had a nice upset against Michigan State. We had a nice upset against Purdue. Both of the last two were in the COVID year, but we haven't had a true, like, I can't believe Rutgers just did that type game in a really long time. Like, that would have been tonight. Like, I think we all would have been very pleasantly surprised with this victory, because I don't think the majority of us would have expected it. Kyle Kovacs, thank you very much for the donation. Top 2 receiver with massive target share for KJ and Ian. That's something that shouldn't be underplayed as well. Like, these guys, like, they're being sold a bill of goods elsewhere, whereas at Rutgers, they know exactly what they're walking into. They know exactly what AJ Sarace is capable of. They know exactly how they'll be featured in this offense, because, shocker, they've been featured in it the last couple of years. They know exactly what they'd be walking into at Rutgers for a year, and that does weigh a part in their decision. Now, is that going to make up for if Rutgers can only, give them half of what other schools are offering? No, but it does fill some of the gap where they might not necessarily take the largest offer, because you got to also think like they need to put themselves in a position to showcase their talents to elevate their draft stock as much as possible. And if they go to a place like Auburn, I'm just throwing a name out there. This has no relation to what they're actually thinking. Let's say they go to a place like Auburn and they're suddenly the fourth receiver. That's going to tank their stock. So they have to be very comfortable with, the position they're going to be put into if they decide to go elsewhere. I'm also going to drop the link to join the show. If you'd like to hop in, feel free to click on that link and we will add you to the queue. But
they do know the playbook too. I mean, you still have to learn a
Yeah.
whole new playbook. Like that is a
Sure.
pain in the ass, let me tell you. Speaking of NFL, it was funny listening to NFL scouts talk in the hot dog line at halftime. A lot of raving about Antoine Raymond's future.
Really?
There's a Bears scout, a Panthers scout, and I think it was a Giants scout. Also, assistant GM Brandon Brown for the Giants was there. Also, assistant GM for the Buffalo Bills was there. But they were just joking, and the one's like, "Oh, you already got your Rutgers running back. You don't need another one." And they were just like, "Yeah, no, we love those Jersey guys. We love those Rutgers guys." And they were all joking. Maybe in a year or two you'll have this one. And they were all just like drooling over Antoine Raymond and his potential. So again, I think he's gone after his junior year. I'd be shocked if he wasn't at this rate.
Yeah, this was probably the most impressive game he's ever played as a Scarlet Knight. Just like the amount that he was able to get done on his own. That's like what made Kyle so special, is that he was able to just like deal with constant backfield penetration and make a couple guys miss and turn what most guys would have as a 2-yard loss into a 5-yard gain consistently. And that's what Antoine did today. He had 189 yards rushing and his long was just 22. So he was just churning constantly getting positive yardage. And that, he had two receptions for 62 yards in the pass game as well. Just a full on, successful game. We have two people in the queue right now. I am Lou. It's saying your device isn't connected, so you might need to hop out and try that again. But we're going to bring Caden onto the stage and chop it up with Caden. Caden, what's going on, man?
I don't even know. That was really sad. It's just been a rough day for me.
Yeah.
Nope.
You still there, Caden? Okay, and I think we lost you, so I'm gonna drop you off the stage, and if you want to hop back in, we can bring you back in. Are you still here, Caden? Caden, you here?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. What's going on?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry. Now is it better now?
It's better now. Yep.
Okay. Yeah, just brutal. I thought we really had it. It's pretty bad. Obviously, you look ahead to next season. I'd really like to keep KJ. I don't remember. I think he's definitely better than Ian at this point. But we're just gonna have to fork up the money, and we'll see if the university is willing to do it. Obviously, I think I didn't realize that Raymond was eligible for the draft, but since he is, he definitely.
No. He's not. He has another year.
He has another year. Okay,
yeah.
So after next year, he'll definitely be gone. Hopefully for the NFL. Hopefully he stays at the university this year.
Yeah. No, you should.
I mean, since there's no bowl game, I mean, as for AJ Sarace, I mean, what's there? I really didn't watch much of him. I know you guys have been around camp and have seen a lot of him in different scenarios, but is he more of an athlete than Ethan? What's his deal?
I mean, AJ, better athlete, stronger arm, comes from a better pedigree. I think overall he's a better prospect as a quarterback than Ethan. Ethan's just got a lot more experience, so it's going to be him getting acclimated to the game. I mean, you don't have to. I mean, just watch that corner fade that he threw to Michael Thomas III in the Norfolk game to kind of understand what he's capable of. Like Ethan doesn't make that throw.
Yeah, I mean, what about? Do you think Ethan will even get signed as a UDFA, or what's the situation there?
He'll be in training camp with someone. I don't think he'll get
Yeah.
drafted. I think
mean-
if he would have continued the first 4 games momentum that he had, he probably would have gotten drafted late. But I don't think it's happening now.
Yeah, probably not. I mean, I think he can certainly read defenses. I think he's got a good arm. I think he has an NFL arm. I mean, obviously, I think if he wasn't like a 90s pocket passer, because to be honest, that's what he is, he'd probably be getting drafted if he was coming out around the 90s or so. But I mean, he just is not the right archetypal quarterback that teams are looking for. I mean, like seeing him run, he ran a little bit more today, which was surprising, but seeing him run is kind of tragic. I'm not gonna lie. But I don't know. It was a rough year. Hopefully that defense is looking like it's gonna get older and better next year, but you never know.
I don't know about that, but
Not okay.
Yeah.
Well, I
No,
don't really know. So it's
the
not gonna
edge
get
rushers-
older or better.
so the edge rushers are gone. 2 interior defensive tackles are gone. 1 linebacker's gone. 1
Isn't-
corner's gone.
Oh,
1 safety's gone. So you're losing a lot.
Yeah. And we have a stupid amount of people in the queue, Kate, and I hate to cut you off short, but we're gonna have to keep churning through here. We got like 6 people in the queue right now.
Yeah, I
Thanks for
understand.
hopping on again, man.
Appreciate
See
it.
ya.
Mhm.
All right, we're gonna have Kyle Kovats hop on.
What's
Kyle,
up, fellas?
What's going on, Kyle?
Not too much. Tough ending today for sure. I have no voice left, but in general, I would say like there's reason to be optimistic. I think for moving forward, because we're so accustomed to just having such a crappy offense, and then the defense kind of carrying the water. But I had a chance to actually meet Kelly Zinn walking the yellow lot today. First time I've ever met her in person, but we hit an absolute home run with her. Like, she's got it. She's just nonstop on message, fundraising, so on and so forth. And if you get Greg away from having to fundraise, before games every single night, and now he could focus on really just coaching, I think that's huge. Number one. Number two, I mean, imagine the team this year if you could have added, let's say 2 interior defensive linemen. You could have added, maybe a linebacker, maybe 1 more defensive back, and maybe 2 additional O linemen. Like, if Kelly can raise money just for 5 more players compared to what we have right now, I think that goes a really long way. We got to a certain point where our right tackle was a kid who was at LIU, a few months back. So it was a tough season, and anybody who was at any summer practices this year would tell you. I had the privilege to go to a couple, but our offense was crushing our defense and just running the ball down their throat. And I remember walking out of one of the scrimmages in August and just saying to myself, well, if we're going to win games this year, we're going to have to win games like 50-49 because this defense just cannot stop the run. And I think Greg probably knew that coming into the season. And that's why I think we made an effort to put up as many points as we possibly could at all times, because we were not going to be winning any defensive battles. That was for sure.
Yeah, it pains me because the offensive line, they brought in so many dudes, and they just every single one went down with an injury. And
Brought
it's
in
just
19 transfers this whole
yeah,
season.
it was just piss poor luck there. But the linebacker thing is what drives me the most nuts. And me and Mike have talked about it before. That is the cheapest position in the portal, and they decided to say, you know what, we got Jabome and Moses Walker. Moses Walker will be fine. And no offense to the kid, but he doesn't know what the fuck he's doing out there. Like,
I've talked to a lot of local kids who ended up going to the Power 4 in the transfer portal who wanted to be here. Like, we've talked about it ad nauseum. Like, there were kids who we could have gotten at a reasonable rate, but they felt good about their linebackers, and sure enough, it didn't work out.
Rashawn Lawrence, a defensive tackle, another one.
Yeah, but that's
the run fits, and the problem is, even after Greg took over the defense, like, even look at tonight, like, we're schemed up schematically, it looks pretty sound, but we just have guys who look like it looked a lot like the Jimmies and the Joes. Just we were very outmatched tonight.
Yeah, and we were still,
and still with them.
We're still right there, and if we didn't make these like awful mistakes late. Like we have how many times this year? Like how many games have we just like shot ourselves in the foot late in the fourth quarter, and we had the opportunity to win at least 3, right?
Yeah. It was tough, but thank you guys for doing this. Appreciate it. I'll go back to listening.
Appreciate it, Kyle.
Thanks
All right, later, guys.
on. We're going to bring on I Am Lou next, who I think was next in the queue. I Am Lou, you here, bud?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. How's it going?
Good. First time, long time. Love the show. Preference it, 20-year season ticket holder. Been going to the games forever. My grandfather was a dual sport athlete, played lacrosse, and was a quarterback at Rutgers.
Awesome.
That was a classic Rutgers letdown loss.
Yeah.
You knew, I thought they had it. And then
that's the most frustrating part. Is it was the very moment where you thought you had it is when they decide to rip your heart out.
Right.
Yep.
It was there. And and then you're just numb after that. You're just like, okay, I've experienced this a million times, blah, 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 blah. But what was your guys' take on the fake field goal in the first quarter?
Big fat,
Stupid.
Because it's one thing
Take the
Greg
point.
talked about afterwards, that they did something that they didn't do all season. They saw a tell, or they saw some kind of weakness in their field goal block formation, and they did something different for the first time all year.
Right.
It's
First
not
time all
that
year. Right.
It's not that they went for it. I'm fine with a fake field goal. It's the fact it's 4th and 8, and a field goal, that toss happens. He's catching the ball 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage. So not like on an undermatched team, you're expecting Jay Patel, who is not an athlete, to go 15 yards to pick up a first down.
Right.
That is what pains me. It's
the
one thing to do
he was running sideways. It seemed like for like 15 yards at right there.
There was just too much yardage for him to have to pick up in a situation where, we talked about this in our preview. Penn State's blocked like 4 kicks this year. They have a very athletic line. They outmatched us in the trenches. I don't know what they thought they were going to get there.
I mean, if you look at it, it would have been a tie game going into half at that point, or whatever it was. And then who knows what happened. But I just feel like that's too early to pull that out of all times. And then, he's doing that, blah, blah, blah. But, I think it was just getting cute in that spot in time. But, there's so many other, I don't really think there's that many other points of the game where you can point at, we're like, oh, what happened there? What happened there? It was a pretty clean game all around,
outside of that fumble,
outside of like, why did they do this? Why did they do that? You weren't really questioning too much, but other than that, I don't know.
I mean, no disrespect to Jay Patel whatsoever. He's a great kicker. He might be the most unathletic kid on the football team, and that includes the walk-ons. That we're put a long snapper out there to run. Dress up the backup quarterback. Dress up the backup running back.
Imagine if he just trucked 5 guys and everyone just didn't know what to do.
Yeah, I mean, he's what? No offense to him. I think he's smaller than me. I think he's 5'8". Like, what are we doing?
But like, I don't know what they're going to do with the transfer portal and everything else. But I hope they're able to keep the guys that they have now, meaning Duff and the main key guys. But it would be something if they those guys slipped away. That would But love the show, and I'll keep listening. Thanks, guys.
Appreciate it, Lou. I want to point this out too, because technically, yes, he could have threw it because they sent someone out for a route. Who did they send out for a route? Tight end 3, Logan Blake.
Yeah. I mean, like, he's on the kick. He's on the.
I know, but put someone else out there if you're going to throw a pass to him. Like,
yeah,
it's just I don't know, man. That was bizarre. I didn't like that at all. I thought that was dumb. It was stupid, and it's Greg trying to be cute a little bit.
We're going to bring on the next guest here, Ron. If you're still here, Ron.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you. What's going on, bud?
Hey, how's it going? Long-time listener, first-time caller. I needed a little therapy session, so
we're here for you. We'll sit down on the couch. We'll talk you through whatever you're going through.
Yeah, I actually work security mostly, and today I went with a bunch of friends to watch the game in the black lot. I was there since 10, mostly Penn State fans. I was sitting around a lot of Penn State fans. And I don't know how much one fan base can take. It really
we seem
is.
like we're at our limits here with how much shit we're shoveling right now.
This loss, I think, would have just meant, not just for the football program, I think for every program in general, for Kelly's Inn, as far as fundraising. I think this loss just dominoes a lot of positive momentum that could have happened over the next few months going into the off season. Couple things that, I know we just talked about the fake kick. That was terrible. That had no chance. They run that play 100 times. 100 times they're not making it.
Yeah.
So I was in the other part of the end zone. The 3rd and 2, I think, at the end of the game after the fumble and they were down 4. Did they do a quarterback sneak from like 2 yards?
I think so. It set up a 4th and 1 where
the 4th and 1, to Aiken.
The rollout. Yeah.
I mean, Raymond all game is just killing it. Why would you not hand him the ball there?
I'd be even more fine with if they did like a play action and he gets sacked, because then at least you're thinking, okay, we've had success with Raymond all game. They tried to like catch him sleeping and it didn't work. But yeah, the sneak and then the rollout, it just didn't stand a chance.
Oh my God. It's just, it's really devastating. I don't know why I'm taking this so hard, but we appreciate you guys. And I really want to thank you and, keep doing what you're doing.
Appreciate it, Ron.
That, Ron. Thanks, bud.
Thanks.
Yeah.
We just
the rollout was rough, man. But like I don't hate the play call in general. He's just not mobile enough to run it. And then they read it like a book too.
And I do wonder if he's dealing with something that is affecting his mobility, because I feel like earlier in the season, he did seem a little more spry and he had more ability to move. And I don't know if it's him protecting himself. That's like the coaching staff telling him he's got to not take as many hits, because there were some like hits that he was taking early on in the season. Like, oh man, he's getting the shit kicked out of him. But
he got whacked quite a bit. Even the fumble, obviously the only fumble, the really bad fumble in the end, but Kenny Fletcher's wide open too, and it just it pains you to look back and see it, and you're like, oh, it's right there.
Yeah. We got RU fan 3161 hopping on now. You here, bud?
I'm here. You guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you perfect. What's going on?
Guys, great job with this show, man. This has been, like the other guy mentioned, great therapy for me this year.
Thank you, man.
But hey, listen, just a couple of things. First off, I think if you look at this season as a whole, nobody expected this defense to be as bad as it was, and that's what I think just crushed them. The offense was so good. I know you made a reference to the linebackers sucking and all that stuff, but my God, the defense this year, the plays they gave up, the amount of guys wide open down the field, not covered. Today was the first time the whole year I sit with a whole section that they actually covered a back out of backfield in a play action, and we were going crazy like it was the greatest play, and a sack like that sack. I feel like we never get that this year.
Yeah,
I thought the defense really let us down this year, and it starts. Greg's not going over. Greg is the coach, but Greg really, I think this year has to get a defensive guy that may be kind of out of his family tree, if that makes sense, and get a little different right now. I think the offense is set if they can keep those guys. And you're talking about with the schedule next year, there's a lot of winnable games. Like the Nebraskas don't seem as tough. The Wisconsin don't seem as tough as it used to be. Now, obviously, those teams can rebuild quick. But to me, the schedule is kind of next year where you feel you can be a competitive team in the Big Ten. Not this year was – listen, if they won this year and finished 6-6 with this schedule, as much as we cried about a lot of these games, we can probably have accepted that. But I think going into next year, I think it has to be the goals have to be a little higher next year. I think with the schedule, with the guys on offense that they can potentially have coming back. I mean, I think there's a little bit of pressure on Rutgers football next year to do something next year. What do you guys think about that?
I totally think you're right.
Yeah, I would say so. It's funny going back to the Jabome thing. There was a running joke in the press box that, oh my God, he finally showed up. There he is. That's the guy we saw last year. Like complete regression from that linebacker room. Now, do you blame the linebackers coach? Do you blame the DC? Do you blame all of the above? The defensive line not getting pushed. You can blame everyone on defense. The schedule is interesting next year because like the out of conference games are all very winnable. UMass arguably the worst team in FBS. Boston College, the worst Power 4 team. Like it's although they did just beat the crap out of Syracuse today, so who knows? But and then Howard, it's just a win. After that is where it gets really interesting. Like Penn State's gonna have a new coach. How will they do? Maryland's might still have Loxley, depending on where that game is. Who knows? Northwestern's pretty solid now. Indiana's damn good. Michigan's damn good. Michigan State's probably gonna have a new coach. Nebraska, who knows? And then USC is usually pretty good. And Wisconsin, Camp Randall's no joke. So it's not, I wouldn't call it an easy schedule. I think like
there's an opportunity for a bowl game though next year for sure.
I would say it's probably gonna be 5.5 again next year for the over-under. If I had to guess right on the bat, just because it's not easy, but it's not hard either. It really depends on what these teams do. And hell, like I just said, there's gonna be 3 new coaches you're probably playing next year. So you really don't know what they're gonna bring with them.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, like, I guess it just seems better when you don't see Oregon or Ohio State, but I guess those teams are good too. Last thing before I go, guys, and I want to appreciate you guys are great this year. With the NIL coming up and the recruiting, I mean, what do you think the focus is? I mean, I think you have to kind of retain a couple of your good guys on offense, and then defense, I just think you're going in there swinging for anyone, right? I mean, like, I think anyone that can fill your spot. I can't think of many guys on the defensive side that I want to keep. I mean, what do you guys like?
I don't know if there's a single guy.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's not like
Morosi said this 3 times. DL.
Yeah,
we need impact.
Thank you guys. Appreciate you guys.
All right, appreciate it, thanks, man. Yeah, I mean they're gonna go heavily into the portal. Don't get it twisted. They're gonna be busy in the next few weeks. You got about 6 weeks until the portal closes, and spring season's in March. You gotta add probably 6 defensive players who can make an impact next year. You have to probably add, depending on who stays, maybe a receiver. We try and be as proactive with this portal stuff as possible, covering who we think we need and things like that. But what do you think, Rich?
That's going to be really interesting because there's a couple factors there. Obviously, like you want to keep being strong, Duff. DT Sheffield wasn't on the senior day list. If that JUCO rule is not a JUCO rule or whatever the hell you want to call it, because NCAA loses just about every court case, even the ones they win against Jet UI, they end up losing in the end. Yeah. So there's a chance DT Sheffield could have another year, and I think they would sign up for that in a heartbeat.
Interesting, you kind of pointed that out that he didn't walk for senior day. So
yeah, so something to keep an eye on. But like Morosi said, defensive line. Yes, you have some youngsters like Braxton Kyle's a dude. Giant Simon's going to be a dude. YD Collier's going to be a dude. Like they have dudes there, but you still need to get guys up front. You need edge rushers. We already know they're reaching out to edge rushers. We already know they're reaching out to corners. So that's of
let's
talk
about
I don't want to reveal too much. It's going to get on the boards tomorrow. If you're not on the site, it's half off right now for the year. I think it's $50 for the entire year. So you go sign up for that. You'll see a nice transfer portal notebook tomorrow with one name that's potentially even leaning Rutgers already.
Whoa, okay, that's exciting. I don't even know who this is, so I'll have to talk off the air.
Yeah,
one of the guys we highlighted in our potential portal target list, Cam Chadwick, who ended up actually entering the portal.
That's true. Forgot about him.
A week before Jim Mora left. He's actually the son of a Rutgers football alum, Cameron Chadwick, defensive back from the 90s. So keep an eye out there. There's a few dots connecting there.
There's a couple of UConn dudes that are dudes.
There's a lot of them. Then I don't think they're all going to go to Colorado State where Jim Mora is, but
I don't even know why he did that.
More money going to the Pac-12.
Same money. They revealed the contract today. It's the same money. It's just crazy.
Rich, you would know what is like a third team all Big Ten quality interior defensive lineman cost?
It's going to cost a lot.
I can give you some context for what CJ West cost last year, which
that's a good one.
Slightly over $1 million going to Indiana as a transfer, and this was pre rev share, so probably 1.5 if I had to guess.
CJ West was phenomenal. And obviously the connection to Colin Farrell, the defensive line coach, they thought they had a shot, and they're not paying that. But who knows? We'll see what they can do this year with money, because they're going to have – I need to clarify this too. They're going to get $15 million in rev share for football, at least, if not a little more. They're not spending it all on transfer, number one. They're not spending it all on retention, number two. It's not all being spent on just players in general. There's still money that has to get like set aside for like scholarships and this and that. It's 105 scholarships now. You got to find a way to pay that. Revenue sharing is part of that. So I don't know. And then on top of it, there's rumors that Kelly's trying to raise 8 figures for him. They're not there yet.
Huge. Yep.
That's just to clarify. They're not at that number yet, but they're trying to get there. They're close to it, but they're not there yet. Everyone else is going to have money too. So that's not play or pretend like Mark Cuban's not out here throwing money at the Hoosiers again.
Rutro, we see you in the queue. You're about to hop on, so just want to give you a heads up there. But we wanted to thank Josh Hiller first. Thanks, guys. Love the pod and the live content. Anytime we like to do this as much as possible. Wish there was a little bit more of a jolly reason in the holiday season to actually have this live pod. But unfortunately, with how the game played out today, is not the case. But we were going to be here for therapy all night, or at least until you guys are tired of us. Dropping the link back in for anyone who wants to hop on the show. But Rutro, we're gonna have you hop on here. How's it going, man?
How you doing, guys? Yeah, that was agonizing. I was there tonight. I was there from 10 o'clock in the morning. Had a great day. Had some great tailgates. I was at the tailgate with Kelly's in. She comes every week for the Taylor ham, egg, and cheese.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. It's our tailgates in the front of the blue lots. It's awesome. But I mean, honestly, that was a gut punch loss. Like, we were going in for the kill shot, and I still don't know what happened. I was hoping we were getting a review, and there was no review. Like, it looks like he just lost the ball.
Yep.
But anyway, we're gonna. I heard you guys talking, and it's like it's going to cost a lot of money to retain Antoine Raymond. It's going to cost a lot of money to retain KJ Duff. It seems like the wide receiver room is pretty stacked. Like, we have Ben Black. We have, Fama Toure has done nothing yet, and he was a big-time prospect coming out of high school. So, I'm hoping we have some receivers to give to AJ Sarace. I agree with you. I think we need defensive line, and some cornerbacks. And it's shocking, to where this program has fallen. We had, even in our worst years under Chris Ash, we were putting defensive backs in the league. And to see the crap that was out there this year, we've got to upgrade that, and I hope to God we can do it. And I agree with you. Next year's schedule seems somewhat manageable. Can we? There's going to be a lot of teams with some fresh faces. There's going to be a lot of we've got to, but to take the next step. And I'm not a big fire Schiano guy. I know everyone wants to fire Schiano and hire someone new. And I do think maybe in a year when LSU and everyone else is not looking for a new coach, that would be on the table. But this year, absolutely not. And we have bigger fish to fry. You know how I feel about Steve Peichel. We got to get rid of that guy because he doesn't know what he's doing.
Stay tuned for the live show on Tuesday.
Yeah, Schiano has shown the ability to adapt. So let's give him some money. Let's let him go shopping. But we have got to upgrade the defense, and we've got to get rid of Rob Smith. And I'm just interested to see what happens in the offseason. This was tonight I was there, and I was so pumped. I was like, we're going to finally beat Penn State. We're going to finally beat them, and we're going to keep them out of a bowl game. And, who knows? And then they're going to get off to a really shitty start with Bob Chesney, and now they're they won. It just sucks. I don't know what happened. I don't really have a question for you. I just hope to God we can make it happen moving forward, because I do think Schiano does have an eye for talent, unlike Steve Peichel. I think that Schiano can find talent in the portal. I think he's done a good job. I think he opened up his Rolodex and got us guys like Bradley Weaver. He missed on them, but I think that he can make this work. But we'll see. We'll see what happens next year. KJ Duff and Antoine Raymond, hearing the numbers you guys are throwing out, it is a bit scary that we won't be able to retain those guys.
It's not gonna be cheap, that's for sure. I mean, that's what happens when you have good players. It's better to be in this position, I feel like, than where we were 5 years ago, where like you couldn't pay programs to take some of our guys away.
Yeah, it's like in hoops, every kid transfers down because they suck.
Yeah.
But like we actually have guys that other people want. Like Louisville went and got Rene Conga and Wes Bailey, and Miami went and got Muhammad Touré. We have guys that people actually want. In hoops, we have nobody that anybody wants. So let's hope we can retain a couple of these guys and bring in some new talent, because we were right there. Like we were finally going to beat Penn State, and I can't deal with it.
The other good thing is, like, for the most part, minus those two guys, like Schiano's done a really good job of retaining dudes. He's able to keep a lot of people, and that's where that culture comes into play too. I know it's like culture, chop. Yeah, we get it. I hear it a million times per week. It's insane. But like it is actually a very good culture. It's very family oriented. It's not just the forget about me, I love you. Like it's actually like a legitimate culture. Whereas like other programs, it's just like you're a hired hitman basically. So that's a big reason why they're able to keep people. So I do think they'll be able to keep a good amount, if not all of these dudes. Maybe not KJ. KJ's going to cost a lot.
Well, we'll see. I think they'll do everything they possibly can, and they'll make a strong ass offer, to quote Will Wade.
Yeah, we'll see.
But
it's going to be very
thanks for hopping back on. We do have a couple other people in the queue, so I'm gonna bump you, but appreciate you hopping on once again, bud. We want to highlight this, Ben. I'm gonna bring you on next, but want to thank is that Kevin Frazier? Great content, guys. Hard loss today. Is Greg on the hot seat if he goes below 500 next year? I wouldn't. This is tough. I do think if he goes like 4-8, I think that conversation is fair, because the out of conference is, puppy shit soft. You got UMass. You've got Boston College, who went 2-10, I think, this year. UMass went 0-12, and then you have an FCS team. I don't even know who it is. Doesn't matter. You should start the season 3-0. Howard, yeah. And they do play a lot of winnable games in the Big Ten next year. Not that they don't play any good teams either, because they do play USC, they do play Michigan, they do play Indiana. But I mean, that's gonna be every year. If you can't, push for a bowl every season in the conference, you probably shouldn't be the head coach. But I don't think he's on the hot seat unless he, really has a poor season. What do you think, Rich?
I think 4 wins and less. It's getting warmer. Still wouldn't say it's hot just yet. It depends what you define as hot. Like he's not gonna get fired next year.
No.
Like he would at least get 2027 at the very least, and it would get warm for 2027. But I wouldn't say it's hot just yet.
Yep, I agree. I'm gonna bring Ben Umar onto the stage now. Ben, how's it going, man?
How you guys doing?
Good,
Not too bad. How about you?
Pretty bad, but my thing is this: like, I'm not trying to say I can see the future or anything, but when we got that two-point conversion, I knew we were gonna lose, and it sounds crazy because I knew once we got the ball back and Ethan was driving, he was gonna turn the ball over some way. I didn't know how, but I knew it was coming. He just has a haywire gene. As well as he plays, he's going to do something stupid. And when I watched that replay, the ball, it was almost like Carmine from Staten Island made a call. And he's like, Ethan, it's time to drop that ball. And it was ridiculous. And it was like, come on, bro. And I knew it was over from that point. We weren't going to be able to recover, because that was our chance to put the nail on them. To go up by 10 points, that swing is so ridiculous. That had to take all the mojo out of the whole team right there. Because we're going up by 10, maybe 6, and then we have control of the game against a Penn State team that I was hoping personally wouldn't come to play. We'll just pack it up. We're Penn State. We don't care about Rutgers. Let's not play this game. We'll be back when we get our new coach. But no, they came to play. So that was already scaring me. And then when he did that, I knew we were done for, because we couldn't stop Katron Allen. This guy ripped off how many 50-yard runs that we ran him down on.
too.
If this guy had any type of big speed, we'd have lost by 30. But it's just terrible. It's just rough being a Rutgers fan. I'm just being honest because you take this offense we had this year. This offense was, and when you guys did your preview video, I put in the comment section that we're gonna break all kinds of records this year on offense. But I didn't put this in this part in the comment section. I was worried about our defense. Imagine if we took this year's offense with last year's defense. How many wins do we got? We can't seem to put it all together. All our linebackers is hurt. Jabomi all of a sudden doesn't know how to play. Kosh Sanders can't take a good angle on anything. And now KJ Duff balled out like, oh my God. Every vulture's coming.
Oh yeah.
And we don't have them. I don't know what money situation we have, but every vulture's coming. And I can't even God forbid it happen, but I can't blame them. If somebody offers you so much money, life-changing money, what can we say? The sentiment here if we lose guys like that and Ian Strong, whether he goes to the league or he goes to another team or he decides to stay, we don't know. Like the most loyal guys will leave with the right money. So it's like I don't know. You guys know better than me, but it was just a heartbreaking loss today.
Yeah, I keep watching that Ethan play over and over again. I think he just tried to rush it to Kenny Fletcher on that the motion beforehand on that route, and it's just he panicked, and that was it. And
yeah, I'm being an idiot saying about the gambling thing. I saw the play. I know what he was attempting to do, but he just like he was so nervous. He was nervous in that moment. That ball just slipped out of his hand. I seen Fletcher. Fletcher was wide open. If he reacted and just popped the ball over the defensive end 33 or the linebacker, whoever that guy was that on Penn State, he would have been wide open. But and then why are you running it on a 2-point conversion with Patel? I've never seen Patel run in my life. And he's been there for 100 years. We watched this guy. Why would you do that? If you're gonna go for it with your offense.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
And the last, can I just make one last thing?
Yeah,
sure.
Why did Schiano bring back Rob Smith? What was the point of that? That was like he brought him back to fire him again. How many times are you gonna fire this guy? We know he's no good. He'll maybe have a good 6 months. We're like, oh yeah, we get behind Rob Smith, and then he collapses. It's like Schiano almost wanted to call the plays, but he didn't want to call the plays, so he's like, I'll bring in Rob Smith. I know I'm gonna have to demote him halfway through the season, and then I'll call the plays. But what's the point? Just call the damn plays until we can get the guy we can get in there. I know he wanted Campanelli and all these other guys. You couldn't get them, so like, I don't know. It's just frustrating being a Rutgers fan because it's like we're right there. We're right there so many years, and then something happens, and then it takes us back 5 steps from where we just were. But you guys do a great job. Thanks for letting me on.
Appreciate it, man.
Thanks, Ben. I mean, I've compared. I had a fucking poem I wrote about hiring Rob Smith about how, at some point, you shoot your shot to every girl at the bar, and you look up and it's 2:45 and the bar closes at 3 and there's one girl left at the bar and you got to take somebody home, right? And that's how it ended up being. He was not the first choice. I think we can say comfortably. Wasn't the second choice. Wasn't the third. Not the fourth. Not 5. Not 6. Not 7. Yeah, it was. It was pretty far down the list in terms of his defensive coordinator targets.
Not only that, he let him bring in a linebackers coach. Let him bring in a safeties coach. And what are the issues? Just specifically, it's the defense, it's the safeties, and it's the linebackers. Yeah. Weird how that works, right? That's crazy.
Yeah. But we do have a couple more people in the queue here. Thanks for everybody hopping on. We got Josh Hiller next coming to the stage. Josh, how's it going, man?
Hey, man. How's it going? Like I said, really appreciate you guys giving us all the content you guys give us all year. It's really good to have a go-to place to listen to this kind of content. But my question for you guys, I mean, I think Rob's got to go, but like what are the possibilities for a DC that are out there? And I mean, it seems like Schiano always needs to like only have guys around him that are like people that he knows or he's familiar with. I mean, is he ever going to be comfortable kind of going outside his comfort zone and finding somebody else out there that he maybe has not worked with before? I mean, what's kind of out there? What are the possibilities? Because I don't think you can bring Rob back.
No,
I mean,
No.
this is just an abject failure.
Oh yeah.
He showed his hand with him taking the play calling duties early in the season.
Yeah.
Rich, I'll let you take kind of what's out there though.
So I have his whole coaching history. I've put together a whole list of every coach he's worked with that has been at either Power 5.
He's talking about every
G4,
single coach he's
every
worked with
single
in his
coach.
40-year career. Yeah.
I have went through media guides on media guides. It's disgusting the amount of time I put into this, but this man has literally hired his own
so-and-so
coaching.
was a GA in '86.
It's insane. Yeah. It's actually disgusting, like the list. But I went through it, and he's actually legitimately out of options now. I will give him credit because there was one name this offseason that he did reach out to that has zero connections to him, but the guy straight up said no. And that was Seth Wallace. He's the assistant or associate head coach / I think he's safeties coach at Iowa. Yeah, and he was actually talking quite a bit. I shouldn't say he straight up said no. He was entertaining it because he reached out to a DB coach that he knew, and the whole premise was whoever the DC is was going to be able to bring in one of his guys. Now, I don't think they estimated the fact that Rob Smith was going to be able to bring in 2 guys with him, but I mean, I guess any DC probably could have done that. But yeah, so he did reach out to at least one of what we know of, and it was close to like almost happening too. Now, where does he go next? I don't really know. I see people keep saying Brent Pry in the chat. I don't see that happening. There's a rumor Brent Pry is actually going to stay at Virginia Tech, which is absolutely insane how that works. But he's really Franklin's boy, so
yeah, I get where they're coming from, but that would be so hard for me to believe that.
I know he wanted Corey Heatherman so badly. He was number 1 on the list by far. They waited way too long for Anthony Campanelli. He was like 2 or 3 on the list. End up staying in NFL, and now he's getting head coaching talk in NFL, which kind of kicking the nuts there a little bit. I don't know where they're going to go. It's going to be really interesting, but he does obviously have to go outside his tree. There's a chance Jim Knowles will be available, but I don't. It's so tough. I don't think so either. I agree.
Well, hyper complex defense that guys can't figure out.
The other issue is that he's very hard to work for. It's very well known. Like, he is not a new school coach by any means. He's an old school coach. He's going to yell at you. He doesn't care who you are, how old you are, how much veteran experience you have. He's going to yell no matter what. And that's a reason why a lot of these older coaches don't really want to coach with him. Like, I can tell you for a fact, there's a former defensive line coach that said, I'm fucking 58. I'm not getting screamed at all day. Fuck that. I'm out. Ends up going to a lower Power 4 school to be a D-line coach. Within the first year, I think Greg was back, or second year, whatever it was. So I don't really know where they're going to go. It's going to be really interesting. But I do think it would have to be a young up-and-comer. And I don't know where you find that guy.
Well, it's just really frustrating to watch because, like, I mean, obviously, we've had a lot of rough years, but like, at least when Schiano was around the first time, and then even at the beginning of the second time, I felt like the defense was like, I mean, I talked to like people that were fans of like other teams that we play, and they're like, wow, your defense, like, man, those guys are just like swarming, they're crazy, they're like all over the place. And it's like this year, I mean, I don't know what happened, maybe last year too, but it was like, man, I mean, it's like not only are they not swarming and they're not like all over the ball, but it's like, I mean, obviously you can go through, you can watch all these huge plays where it's like legitimately it feels like every defensive player is like out of position somewhere. Or like, it's just like, wow, all 11 guys on defense were totally just out of position. And it's just like a totally easy play for somebody. And I don't understand how that's happening with Schiano. I mean, I just always thought that this guy was kind of on the money with the defense. So, I mean, how do you guys, what happened this year?
I'll take what happened this year. So in 2023, for all the people in the chat or who are watching, who watched the show Pluribus, it felt like the 23 defense like was the hive mind. Everybody knew exactly where they were supposed to be. Everyone could read everyone's thoughts. Everyone would swarm. Everyone was cohesive. 24, everybody got hurt. It was largely all the same players, but when everyone gets hurt and they're playing hurt, or guys are missing, for the whole season, and you weren't expecting to play certain guys, that's what happened last year. This year, it was the entire defense getting replaced. You hire a bad defensive coordinator, and this is kind of the results you get. How about you, Rich?
I mean, there's a reason he fired his strength and conditioning coach of what we're talking like 15 years plus. He was just tired of, or longer than that. Yeah, I forget what he was. The entire first tenure, almost the entire second tenure, and he let go of that guy and paid him significant amount of money to just go away. Yep. And then brought in a new strength and conditioning coach. Now you're not going to see the effects right away because he technically didn't take over till July, or I think it was actually even August. And you're not going to see the effects on how it's going to affect the injury report, but it's like the world's worst injury report every single week. Yeah. Now it's skewed a little bit too. Like people compare it to Penn State's this week, and Penn State has 0 out for the season. That's not true. Like Penn State had like 10 out for the season. They just didn't mark them out for the season. They just marked them as out, which is weird. But I think next year you would think they're healthier based on their new strength and conditioning coach fixing some things. Like Joe Susan, I've talked to former players have just told me they're like, yeah, he wasn't big on stretching. I'm like, oh, yeah, no shit, couldn't tell. So that should play an effect next year for at least the injury report or injuries in general. But in terms of play calling, I think you have to trust someone. You have to give the reins to someone and actually let them do the coaching. But they're like Schiano did take it over before the Purdue game, and you did see better defense. It's still shitty because these guys are still completely out of position, taking wrong angles, just missing tackles straight up. So that is a factor too, but you got to find a guy that you could trust. Who's that guy? I don't know. I don't know if he's even out there, to be honest with you. It's going to be you're kind of narrowing your candidate list down for the sole fact that Greg's so sketched of giving away the reins of the defense.
Yeah. I mean, it's either going to be like he makes a home run hire of like a Heatherman type, or it's somebody that we've never heard of. It's really only two options. But Josh, we appreciate you hopping on. We do have quite a few people in the queue still, but
all right.
Once again,
thank you guys
for the donation. Thanks for
Josh.
the kind words. Ryan, we're having you hop on next. How's it going, man?
Hey, what's up, guys? It's kind of crazy I'm actually on here, but I just want to say you guys do a great job. So I just wanted to say that up front.
Appreciate
and
it.
Also, I actually I played for this team. I had a cup of coffee on this team back in the day. Yeah, I came in with Gary Nova, Savon Huggins, that class.
Oh, no shit.
So,
nice.
Yeah. And actually, Rob Smith was the guy that recruited me. So I don't know if that means anything.
sorry.
So. But no, I just wanted to say, I mean, obviously, there's a lot of negativity after a game like this, but it's just I just feel like we are close. It's like this Penn State team obviously didn't have the year that they thought they were going to have, but I mean, they had some dudes out there, and it's just like even the Iowa game, it's like we're fingertips away, and it's just like, what do we have to do to get that next step? Like, it's just I don't know. I mean, obviously the schedules every year it's going to be tough, but we just have to find a way to just get over that hump, and I don't know like what that is.
It's like it's a mindset thing. Like I feel like there's certain teams who find a way to win when you're not playing at your best or when you make mistakes. There's just teams find a way, and we haven't found that way, and we really as a program haven't been able to find that way since 2006. Like even in 2006, we blew some games. We blew Cincy. We blew the West Virginia game at the end of the year. Like we culturally need to get to that line where we can't step over and find a way past it, because it's been a Schiano problem for a long time where he can't get us past that invisible threshold, whatever that threshold is, to like be a winning program. We've been middling. We haven't been terrible. Schiano gets us out of the basement, but we haven't gotten to winning under Schiano. And you want to call 6-6 or 7-5 a winning program? I don't really. That's kind of like middle of the pack. We haven't been a winning program under Schiano in a long time.
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah.
It's tough because like they fixed the offense, and that was always the biggest issue, as we all know.
Yep.
Like, and it's running on all cylinders. if you can keep that up, that's the only thing that's giving me a little bit of hope for the future of this team, is that they have some young dudes that are good, especially on defense. Like the linebacker core is going to be solid down the line. I don't know if those guys will be ready next year specifically, but Kamar Archie and DJ McClary are dudes. Hell, Kamar Archie actually might play defensive line at the future. But Braxton Kyle is a dude, like Whitey Collier. Like they have dudes there, and it gives me a little bit of hope for that future for the sole fact if you get the right DC in there next year, I'm very high on AJ Sarace. I think the sky's the limit for him. I think he actually has a higher ceiling than Nathan, as crazy as that sounds right now, after a 3,000-yard season. Yeah. But I do think that there's a bright spot at the end of the tunnel. It's just, how do you get there? I think you got to find the right, and it starts with the right DC hire. You have to find the right guy that can run a good defense and that could stay there for more than 1 year too. Because if you get a good DC, there's a good chance he could just end up leaving in a year. You got to pay him pretty well, which they do for the most part. Well, they did last year under Harris Simiak, but
we have
this
the money
year,
to
yeah. So I do think a good DC can make it be a total game changer for the Rutgers next year, specifically if this offense can keep it up.
Yeah, no,
So Rob Smith got you on campus. What would give us a Rob Smith story that would make just give us a little insight as to who.
I mean, honestly, I don't have like too many stories and stuff. I would say, I don't know. He was pretty reserved, I would say. He wasn't a big talker kind of guy. I mean, PJ Fleck was a wide receiver coach, and he was putting on cleats, running around with us. Yeah, so totally different energy for sure.
Sounds like PJ.
yeah, and Rob he's also on the defense. So I played receiver, so I didn't really interact with him too much, but like after recruiting and stuff. But yeah, no, I don't know. It is weird to like see the guy that that kind of gets you there. See what happens, but I don't know. It's yeah. It's like funny because I'm like, there's not too many people left, obviously, and it's just like, oh yeah, the one guy, he's there, but
he's fired back again, fired back, fired back again.
Yeah, so
yeah.
I mean, we'll see. I mean, I think I guess the last thing I'll just say is like I said, I think if we can get the defense turned around, we have that chance because it's like this offense, like I said, Sarace is looking good. It's just if we can do it, who knows? I mean, even if we have like an Iowa type season or something, like 7-8 wins or something for a couple of years, like I don't know like what to do, like take that next step. But we got the money coming in, we got some things happening, so I don't know. I'm trying to bring a little bit maybe more optimistic view to it because it's like we're not out of these games. Some of these games, obviously, it's like the elite, Penn State and Ohio State, Oregon, of course, but it's just like the rest of the Big Ten, we're not completely out of it, and so I don't know. We'll see, but I appreciate you guys, and I just wanted to say something real quick. So
yeah, appreciate it, Ryan.
No, appreciate you hopping on, Ryan. We don't have any more people in the queue. I do want to play Schiano's presser before we hop off here with you guys. We can react to this. For anyone who hasn't seen it yet, I listened to this candidly twice on the way home, but I'm going to share it here. I hit stop share on accident. Sorry about that. I'm going to share it here. We'll listen to what Greg had to say after the game and react to it. And we'll pop that link in the chat one more time for anyone who wants to join us. But here's Greg Schiano in the postgame.
Tough loss probably undersells it a little bit. Feel really, really bad for the players down there in that locker room. They're hurting. As I told them, right? Life is tough. Sometimes you don't feel like you deserve this or you deserve that. It's not about deserving. It's about what are you going to do next? And that's what I'm faced with. And certainly that's what a locker room full of players and coaches is faced with. And that's what a fan base is faced with and administration is faced with, all those things. So I know what I'm going to do. And I got a pretty good idea what the rest of them are going to do too. So I'll open up for questions.
What do you say to Ethan after a moment like that?
I love him. Yeah. He's done incredible things here. Incredible. Think about a couple years ago, our passing game. And think about what he's been able to accomplish. He's a 3,000-yard passer.
story of rivalry, a story of championships.
Use the promo code Rutgers Rivals
More
on home
importantly,
field.
just to watch him grow as a leader and grow as this is hard. This is really hard because he's the ultimate competitor, and he feels like he let people down. But I've told him you didn't let anybody down. You're the reason we're in the game in the fourth quarter.
There's a lot of back and forth, and I always say one play doesn't define a game. What do you think the biggest key was to not being able to close it out?
Well, there's a lot of things, right? I mean, you could point to this play, to that play. Overall, we didn't stop the run. When we were able to stop the run and get them to third down, we got them. I think they were 1 for 8. So, but they ran for 300 yards. So it's hard to win football games when you can't stop the run. But yet there were times we did. There were times that the guys executed it perfectly. So, look, it's frustrating. It's been frustrating all year, and just got to get it fixed.
All right, going off that, you said you know what you're going to do. Does that involve making changes to the defensive coaching
Yeah,
staff?
now's not the time. I was talking in broad strokes of, I know I'm going to wake up tomorrow morning. I'm going to sleep for a little bit. I'm going to wake up tomorrow morning, get up swinging, fighting, because that's what we do. That's what I do. And I have a vision for this program, as I've told many people many times, and you know what? We're going to accomplish that vision.
One play call, man. Are you satisfied with what that play call was there for Ethan to keep? I mean, were you okay with that call?
Say that again.
4th and 1 call, and then the final drive when Ethan got stopped. Were you okay with that call there? And
oh yeah,
that was.
Yeah, I mean, again, I've probably said this to you guys a number of times, right? But whether the call works or not doesn't mean it's a good call, right? Sometimes there's tremendous athletic performance that stops it. Sometimes there's a schematic that stops it. But if you've never called plays, it's hard to understand. You have about 12 seconds to make a decision, and you do it with all the information you have. I mean, there's a lot of great calls tonight, a lot of great plays tonight. Bad ones too. I mean, that was a heck of a football game if you didn't lose it, right? I mean, it was a tremendous game to be a part of, but when you lose, it hurts.
Greg, you mentioned you have a vision for this program. What does that vision entail?
Well, I've said it many times, is to bring championships to Rutgers, to bring Big Ten championships to Rutgers, to bring national championships to Rutgers. I don't believe there's any reason we can't do that here. But I've been saying that since 2000, since someone would say, oh, you were saying it for 25 years. Well, sometimes you got to look where you started and then where you restarted. But if someone's crazy enough to keep doing it, right, then who knows? Maybe we'll just get there.
Watching the performance of Antoine Raymond tonight, how big of a building block is he for this team for the future and moving forward?
He reminded us all of somebody tonight, right? When you watched him run tonight, he looked a lot like Kyle tonight now. I mean, he had a great game a couple of weeks ago, but tonight against that defense, he really ran with authority. I thought he was a punishing runner tonight. He was a violent runner. Because some of those runs, with all due respect to everybody else, were all him. He made a guy miss in the backfield. He made another guy miss. And I mean, there was plays that were blocked for him, but then there was some that he just made him on his own. So, yeah, I was proud of his performance, proud of him.
Greg, what do you want to say about your offensive line?
Yeah. I thought, that's always the hardest thing to see, Jerry, when you're on the field. So, but, when you have the results that you did in the run game, there were some plays that just came flying out of there. So, proud of all year long, proud of the toughness that they've displayed.
You mentioned last week at Ohio State, with some of the 4th down calls that you made, you need to, kind of be extra aggressive to kind of take over this game. Did you feel the same tonight with some of the calls that you made, including the fake field goal?
I felt it was a little different matchup this week, to be 100% candid with you. But the fake field goal I had so much confidence in, it was every time. So this was the first time they didn't do it. And I won't get into details what it is, but it's the first time all season they didn't do it. So either real good coaching by them or somehow something got out. I don't know.
Steve, Chris, Brian, Rick, what will it take to get this program to the next step?
Joy is.
Well, I mean, I refuse to get into the woe is me, right? But we've been operating at a completely different level than the people we compete with. So really what we've done is almost miraculous. And everybody wants to talk about things. People don't know the true facts of what has gone on. But I'm fine with it. I don't need to justify our performances. I really believe we'd be playing again this year, this team. It hurts very much, but we'll be back. And we'll be back. We have some people now that understand what it takes. And we'll be back in the way we're supposed to be. Won't be overnight, but it'll happen.
Last week at training camp, you were pretty open about the defense being a work in progress. Why do you feel like that unit never just kind of hit the stride, found that consistency that you kind of talked about hoping it would find at some point during the season?
Yeah, I mean, it is a loaded question, but it's a very valid question, right? Because all season long, that's been something that has kept us from winning as many games as we possibly could. And somewhere in that time, I tried to get more involved, and I did. Sometimes it helped. Sometimes I'm not sure it did anything. There's a lot that's, you lose some key contributors. You lose 2 starters at least off that defense for the year early in the season, one in training camp. Some years you just don't have it, on one side of the ball or the other. This year we didn't certainly have it, when you look at how we performed. So, certainly my job to make sure we do have it, because if we had it both this year, we're competing for some very exciting stuff. So it definitely feels like a bit of a missed opportunity for sure.
Final question. The way the offense played, the way you were leading in fourth quarter against Iowa, Minnesota, and tonight to not make a bowl game, does this season feel like a step back? Does it feel like a wasted season given what you guys have?
No, there's never a wasted season. These are people's lives you're talking about. It's not an article or something. And I don't mean that in a negative way. These are people that laid it on the line for an entire year. Some of them 4 years here, right? And this is not an easy place to play. And I know that we work hard. We have to. Again, I don't stand up here much and talk about it. If we do what other people do, we will win 2 games a year. We need to do more. We need to do this with finances. We need to train harder. So you know what? That can get you sometimes. We're going to get to the point where we don't need to do that so much. And that's when you can really capitalize on the talent of your players. And we'll get into all that. We'll get together at some point. We have signing date Wednesday, which is bang, bang, right? And then we'll get together and we'll talk when I have more stuff to share with you, because I do think our fans, they deserve an answer on, what could have been, what was. I get that. But you know what? I'm not sure I have the answer quite yet. I have some real thoughts, but I need a couple days to really just get by myself and do some thinking and talk to some people that I really respect their opinions, and then you gotta make some decisions. Yeah, there's no doubt about it. Again, as I do every time, guys, I really appreciate you covering the team. Some of you traveled all over the country to see us play and to write about us and cover us, and I do appreciate it. I do. Every piece of this puzzle makes it special, and you're certainly a big piece of the puzzle. So thanks.
So it was Greg Schiano in his post-game presser. Definitely could just feel the disappointment emanating from him, probably more so for the guys in the locker room who didn't get the chance to have their season extended, to go out on top on senior day, a winner when they, played well enough for a large part of the game to win the game. What were some things that stood out to you about what Schiano had to say in the presser, Rich?
There's 2 things that stand out the most, and I would say the first one is he said that he's going to answer questions and try to make it more clear to people about what basically he did. The people don't understand how, and we've spoke about this ad nauseum at this point, but this is a guy that didn't have any support behind him. 99%, over 99% of the NIL that is in that program was raised by that guy right there. Friday night before a game, Saturday at noon, throughout the season, throughout last season, he was out raising money at dinners, at fundraisers or whatever, talking to the right people, trying to get people to donate throughout the summer, throughout the spring, throughout camp, throughout the season. He was doing it all. He was the fundraiser. He was the guy. He was the pseudo AD for football. So he did do a lot for this program. So I think it just needs to be stated again, like he did just about everything he could and put his heart and soul into this program. The Purdue week, even. We're not even talking NIL anymore. We're talking coaching now. He took over that defense before Purdue. That man did not leave the facility for that entire week. Slept there in his office. Nice office, by the way. So there's plenty of room to sleep. But he slept there, did everything, was trying to fix this defense. That guy pours his heart and soul into this program, and he does everything he can to try to get it on a winning track. So he does do just about everything he can. He is limited in some capacities, of course, but I got to give him credit there. So it just needs to be stated again. But the other thing was interesting is that they noticed Penn State doesn't do this on special teams. Like they don't notice the fakes or whatever it was. And that's why they went for it. This happens quite a bit in college football. This actually happened to Rutgers specifically a couple years ago.
It's a self-scouting thing too.
Yeah. Like Syracuse, Rutgers, we're talking, I don't even know what that was, 5-6 years ago, something like that. Maybe less than that.
No, less than that. Yeah.
Less than that, whatever it was.
22 or 21.
There was a play in the end zone, and Rutgers knew that Syracuse, I forget the exact play and what the exact scheme was they were going against, but something like they weren't covering the middle of the field on the goal line every single time they were on the goal line for the first X amount of games per season, even dating back to the season before that. That very same game against Rutgers, they tried to go for it in the end zone. It just didn't work. They ended up shifting the coverage and covered that middle of the field. And everyone was trying to figure out, like, what the fuck? Like, how'd they know? These smaller, low-time analysts on teams, and it's not a Rutgers thing. It's all around the country. They'll feed info to other teams throughout the entire season. They'll be like, hey, man, like, they noticed this. Like, they're going to look for this, trying to get a better job, trying to get a new job, trying to get more money. Because a lot of these analysts aren't only making, like, 50, 60K. They want to get up in the college coaching world. So what they'll do is they'll go feed info to another team and be like, hey, like, here's what they're doing. Hey, here's what they're doing in practice. And sometimes it ends up killing you or crushing you in the end. It kind of hurt them in that Syracuse game. Hurt them again now. Obviously, the guy that fed the information to Syracuse is no longer on staff. That's obviously clear as day. They found out who it was. And, yeah, obviously it can come back to burn you too. So it is interesting because it sounds like there was a case of that as well this weekend. But, yeah, I still think it was a stupid play call personally. But
yeah,
regardless.
Stupid's one thing. I don't mind the fake. If you're going to fake there, you have to understand that, like, and he does understand. I'm not trying to, put anybody down, but I think it's incredibly unrealistic to think that Jay Patel could run for 15 yards to pick up a first down with his legs, unless the entire team was on the opposite side of the field, which clearly was not the case.
Yeah. But other than that, I think everything else was pretty standard. There's really nothing else to it. It's a press conference.
Yeah. To put a bit more color as to what you're saying, Schiano was just spread too thin the last few years. If you have to make a certain amount of sandwiches with a jar of peanut butter, at some point when you add another piece of bread, it spreads it so thin that you can't even taste the peanut butter anymore. And I feel like at times Schiano can't be the guy, making sure every T is crossed and every I is dotted. And I think that's why, in part, they missed Tarasimiak so much this year, because he had so much faith in him and he had so much, Tarasimiak was a head coach on his own, in his 30s elsewhere. And he was just a guy that Schiano trusted inherently. And I don't think he had that kind of guy he could rely on as much this year on the defensive staff. And, you saw it in camp in terms of you got to really hone in on what things Schiano says. And in camp, he said the defense is going to be a work in progress. He said that they really miss Joe Hirosimiak. And you don't normally hear him say things like that. And to hear him being that candid before a snap has even occurred, you don't normally hear. And turns out he was right. This defense, historically bad, I think after tonight, they averaged 7.6 yards per play in the Big Ten on the season, which is the worst this century for Big Ten play and for Big Ten defenses by 0.3 yards, I want to say. So by a significant margin, by almost 5%, I want to say. So
yeah, brutal.
The defense next year will be better, and I think the talent
can't get worse.
It can't get really. It's we say that as Rutgers fans, it can't get
Be
worse.
impressive.
Find a way that they're actually. Oh, there's another floor down here in the basement. Who would have known? But we've talked about the kind of psychology of taking this job where, if you take a job with the defense to be the defensive coordinator for a team that was the worst basically ever, taking that even like a small step up is seen as an improvement and seen as something you can kind of hype up on your resume. So I think there'll be a wider pool this year because there's the money and because, it's easy to get them. And I say easy. I don't mean it in the sense that I could go in there and do it, but it's relatively speaking easy to get Rutgers to a higher level than they played at this year.
I've seen your defense in college football. You can't do it.
Probably not.
I'm just kidding. I'm not good either, so I'm just
for this role when it does open up, which should be soon. I think Rob Smith's stuff will be on the curb within a week. So
it's interesting though because he's usually. I'm intrigued to see how he does it because Greg's one of those guys that usually says like, "Hey, I'm not bringing you back. Go find a job first."
Yeah.
Then we can announce that, and then that's what happened with
which
Duke.
is what happened. Yeah. Exactly.
So it'll be interesting to see how that ends up playing out. Side note: DT Sheffield posted on Instagram he is done.
Yeah.
Which I kind of expected, but
Bobby Taccio asked for a shining light as we sign off here with 1,300 of you in the chat. I do appreciate you all hopping on and sticking around with us for this therapy session. Which commitment are you feeling great about, Rich? And I'll say great in the sense of like a player that you're really excited that Rutgers landed.
Let's see. In terms of high schoolers, I don't think a lot of them are going to play next year because there is a lot of linemen on both sides of the ball, and I don't think those linemen see the field in year one. Be shocked if the offensive lineman sees the field in year one. That's kind of concerning if they are. Let's see. I like JJ Conyers a lot. I think cornerback's a spot that you can really get on the field pretty early.
Ooh,
I didn't want to say him first, but I think Daisier Carter has a shot. He's like 5'10"-ish. He has a chance to be that slot guy that they need to find. Honestly, they've hit the portal twice now in 2 years between Daimir Miller and DT Sheffield. They could hit the portal again. Don't get me wrong. But I think he's very talented and has a shot to play early. In terms of long term, I think I've seen Xavier Stern about 5 times in person this year. The 2025 calendar year, not in high school football. But I did see him in a scrimmage recently, or well, not recently, I guess, back in September against Red Bank Catholic. And I like that kid's arm talent quite a bit. Now, he did hurt his shoulder to end the year. He'll be healthy by the time January comes around, but getting him into camp early and quickly is going to be interesting because he might be QB2 maybe going forward. We'll see. I'm not super high on Aschenfelder, so we'll see. Reese Beck, another guy, 6'6", 250 already. It's a kid that Washington just offered this week. He was on campus today, so that kind of shuts that one down for the most part. Baylor offered him a month ago. He's very talented, late edition, a kid that it's usually those late editions that somehow find the field the earliest. So we'll see how those play. But again, for the most part, I would not count on the recruits specifically to see the field early. I would say wait till the portal, and who knows, you might start hearing portal announcements as early as tomorrow morning. So
interesting.
Yeah.
Caden's hopping back on for one last word. What do you got for us?
All right. Thanks, guys, for putting up with my crappy calls all year and giving me an outlet
No, they're not crappy.
to speak my mind and my frustrations. I mean, I don't know if you guys do these type of shows for basketball. I don't really pay attention to Rutgers basketball. It's usually not very good, but that's all really. I just really appreciate what you guys do for the community around here, giving us a central place to talk as fans. But I just last I checked, the recruiting class was in the high 30s in the country? I mean, do you think it's going to drop off here, or what's the outlook there? I know you just talked about some exciting ones, but it's my main question.
Yeah, signing day's next week. It's number 37. Oh, it dropped to 40 actually. It's at 40 right now. That's it. They're done basically. I don't see a surprise. Like it's not like the old signing days where like signing day happens and it's like, whoa, who's this kid? You just flipped from Virginia Tech or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's pretty much done. Those recruiting classes are pretty much done in June and July at this point. So yeah, that they're done. It's next Wednesday's signing day. We'll probably have a pod on that, and we'll talk about our.
Yep.
I kind of just talked about my favorite players, but we'll do it again. Do it again.
And then, like, I'm not too familiar. Is this just like the end of high school players, and then that opens up transfer portal, or how does that work?
So transfer portal will open January 2nd. I almost said 22nd. January 2nd. It's a short window this year. I think it's only 15 days. There's only one portal window, so they can't enter till January 2nd. But kids are already saying, like, putting on Twitter, like, "Hey, I'm filing the paperwork. I'm going in the portal." For example, UConn did a bunch of kids on UConn just entered the portal over the past 2 or 3 days. So you can technically reach out to them if as a coach, but you can't really do anything past that. You could even get them to commit technically.
Yeah.
But it's weird because they can't enter the portal officially until January 2nd, and that's when
that's
you'll
like
see.
not tampering. That seems kind
No, it's not tampering anymore. There's no such thing as tampering really anymore because there's no rules against it per se. Like you can report them all you want, and
but it doesn't really
the
matter.
NCAA is not going to do anything. They haven't done anything really at this point. So
Yeah. Geez, there was something else I was gonna say. It had to do with recruiting. You know what? Never mind. I'm sorry, guys.
It's all
it
good,
just
man.
slipped
You're
my
good. mind
there. But again, thanks for putting up with me this year, and we'll see if I get a chance to talk to you guys again. But thanks.
Yeah, I
No
will.
problem. Good.
Yeah, I will say if anyone wants to talk more recruiting, we do it every single day, every single hour. I am a sicko on that message board on the nightreport.com. It got to the point where one day I went to a golf outing a couple weeks ago and I wasn't on for a couple hours and these guys thought I died or something.
We were literally putting in like a where was Richie last? Which police department do we need to call to put in a wellness check because he hasn't been on the boards in 12 hours.
Yeah, I'm on there every single day. Anything that happens, Rutgers, insider information, I'm telling you, sign up for the nightreport.com. Again, it's half off this weekend for Black Friday / Cyber Monday, whatever you want to call it. And it's just a giant blur of sales, but 50% off nightreport.com. The message boards are filled. Maybe don't go on them tonight. Go on them tomorrow morning. It's a post-mortem over there right now, but that is like our own little family. We talk about recruiting. We talk about portal guys before they enter. We're going to be talking about portal targets as of tomorrow. I'll have a whole article, a whole transfer portal notebook of names to watch and names that they've reached out to, and even one name that is favoring Rutgers at the moment. So stay tuned for that.
And Craig, with his immaculate timing, has just joined the backstage. Craig, we'll give you 60 seconds before we hop off.
One Jets word, and we're kicking
We're
them.
trying to hop off for about 10 minutes now, but what do you got?
No, it's okay. I wasn't gonna keep long. I was just gonna say I just wanted to mostly thank everybody for listening to us and reading our stuff. Because even when the seasons are disappointing, everybody listening and reading always makes this an enjoyable experience.
Oh, yeah.
So thank you everybody.
And my computer just froze, so I don't know if anyone can see me, but that's going to do it. Okay, perfect. That's going to do it for us tonight. I want to thank our sponsor, FanDuel, once again. If you want to get in on some football action tomorrow, I really like the Cam Ward rushing over. I think it's at 11.
Ooh, spicy.
Hopping on that.
Giants money line Monday night.
Oof, that is spicy against the New England Patriots. I don't know if I would be taking that, but a couple of betting tips for you guys here to close out. But for me, Richie and Craig, and everybody who joined, I want to thank once again for everybody hopping on. This has been another post-game edition, the final, unfortunately, of the 2025 Rutgers football season. Signing off.